Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Bueno, mi gente, as always, muchísimas gracias to everyone for you guys' words, prayers, and your amazing support. From the heart, do know that I thank you. Now, to get into the story in hand, today I want to touch on what we all go through when we're wiggling through, and we think that what we do have some type of meaning, or in other cases, that it's going to have some meaning when push comes to shove. Never really underlining the fact that so many before us have been thrown out como que si nada, right? Like nothing. But on this story, I want to touch on, in my eyes, he was a good camarada from Colonia Chiques, verbal, and his walk that I had the honor and dishonor of getting to know and hear, right? So at this time, I'm in the hole. We had I had already gone to the hole for the Weddle incident and for battery and an inmate with a weapon and a whole bunch of different charges, right? Everything that carries on after that. And as I head at say, I see the camarada Furbo. He had gone, I don't know, maybe 2 months beforehand for an incident that happened on the yard. And right here in Aztec, everything was feed miss. You know, the homie was still on Gallo, he was on group yard. I checked in, everything was still feed miss, and but to take you to the happenings, right, of things, let me go back a little bit. As I have mentioned before, I was in 3 block when I was on A yard. And even though I had the keys to the yard for Terco, I was taught or given the clecha that I was always to maintain in the shadows. So representing the yard in this block was the homie Enano from Nela. And of course, you know, if he needed me, we'll go out to yard, we'll take a lap, and we'll discuss what needed to be discussed. Even though, you know, we were real well aware that the squad knew exactly who was who and what was what. Because to be sincere, when it comes to snitching, a GP ain't no different than an SMY. And I disculpen that I say it like this, but those are facts. You know, they're aware of everything. It's because people are constantly dropping dimes. So, anyways, getting back to what I was talking about. In 3 block, it was myself and 3 camaradas from the 805 area, which was Ferbo from Colonia, Psycho, and Nairo from Santa Paula. And just to touch briefly on the camaradas, the 2 camaradas from Santa Paula, just keeping it 1,000, they weren't all there. You know, they must have had some good jale out in Santa Paula because Psycho, he was able to hold a good conversation with you, right? But it's just certain things pointing out that, you know, I'm not gonna say it was slow, but there was something there. Just for the fact that he had his old lady's name tattooed on him. I don't know how many times, man. He had it on his wrist, on his hand, on his forearm, on his stomach, on his neck, on his eyebrow. Well, like I said, I don't know exactly how many times. But, you know, for those that were around in the Llavero system, another thing that I was giving Clecha on that even though I get to the yard and I'm giving the jardín, I still always have to ask certain questions. One of them questions is always, who's the direct bloodline on this yard? Which meant, who are the relatives to Peelies on this yard, right? Cause facts are facts. At the end of the day, to them, family comes first. So you're gonna always have that losing end. So you're to be aware who's who on the yard. Not to walk tippy toes around, but so you know the correct avenues to take, right? So getting back into the story, the other camarada, Night Owl, he just wasn't there 100%, There was something off. He was not gonna say slow, but it took a minute. But that, nevertheless, his paperwork checked out and everything was good, so that didn't have no meaning for him to program with us. A camarada's a camarada, right? So year two unfold was there in him like a camarada, not take him down. So the first incident with Naira was that a couple days after he got there, he came out to day room to shower and he came out in his shower shoes, and that's a big no-no. You to come out in your shoes, go in the shower with shoes, come out the shower with your shoes. And so I addressed, you know, and I know, and I told him, like, hey, dale clecha. So the homie did, and that was the last of that, right? Again, he was slow, but not out, if you guys get what I'm trying to say. So as time unfolded, I remember at this time I was out on yard. I was taking laps with addressing certain things. At this time, word had already started spreading around about homeboy from Maravilla and Davato from Chivas. There were certain issues on the yard that we're trying to clear up. So I was out on yard and the alarm went off. So when the alarm went off, we see that a whole bunch of homies were getting pulled out of 3 block and just keeping it 1,000, even though we're on the ground. We're all aware that after the camaradas, if any other race came out, we were to jump up and boogie, right? But no other race came out. So of course, when we went in, where I was at on the top tier was Spanky from Moreno Valley, Crow from Tan Line on one either side, and then couple sales of brothers, and then this is where the first cell when you make the turn was Night Owls. So I asked Crow, ¿qué pasó, and he told me that for some reason Night Owl was in a bad mood and he felt the Judas took too long to unlock his door on unlock, so he took flight on the Judas. And at this time there was other camaradas around, and as those that been there know, there's no questions asked. When any camarada takes off on Huda or any other race, you're to boot up, suit up, and boogie. So we did. There was a couple camaradas that fell with him, right? Which at the end of the day, that was going to be cleared out in the hole, but more than likely it was going to be clear because there was a lot of these incidents of disrespectful COs in Ironwood, not just AR, but in general. So this unfolded, and when they took Night out, even though it was his homeboy from Santa Paula 12, Psycho started woofing about Night out, how he was a Sherm case and a J Cat, a pillhead, egg thing, that he should be whacked, and Verbal took offense to this and told him straight out, you need to shut your lip, regardless of what, he's a camarada. There ain't nothing wrong with him. And when he was here, he should have told this to his face and bucked up. Now that he's gone, all of a sudden, there's a lot of things you gotta speak about the homeboy, right? And out in the open, which is the worst thing, just being a comadre, which at this time, Psycho took offense to it, and they went back and forth, and, again, Verbal was a good camarada. He had a good head on his shoulders when it came to respecting other camaradas, other races. He had good glitcha. He was a youngster, well, younger than I, and but he still had that glitcha, right? He was under Toto and a couple of Billies from his area. Again, I was thought better than to be loyal just to one Billy, but I was nobody to dictate another man's program too, right? So he felt the Billy he wanted to push for was Toto, as show respect to others. So that was on him, right? So it got heated. It got to the point where they both agreed to make things personal. And Furball, of course, had the respect to know who I was, so he addressed me and he told me they were in agreement to make things personal. They want to go in the cell, pick up their thing, and ya bailar. So, I can't stop. No camarada to defend their pride and to man up. Just sincere. You're not gonna take a heads up. But if you're to make it personal and pick up your pedazo, a darle. So they were on their way, to that cell. They keep open for bathroom. And before they got to the cell again, Psycho pulled out and he started going on Furbo out in the open, right? I'm not gonna say what type of move this is, but I'm pretty sure you guys can get it, right? He did it to the point where he wasn't gonna go in the cell. I'll just leave it like that. So of course, the Judas came. They gaffed him out. They took him. Took him to the hole. Both of them. They held their tongue, and things. Time went by and things unfolded with me. As I started, I went to the hole and I ran across the camarada verbal, and they had gave him a shoe for mutual combat with a weapon, and I forgot what other things. But anyways, he had a shoe turn to serve. Psycho had already rotated tire to the shoe he got put up for. So as I'm back there, I see for myself. He's on the group yard. I check in. Todo firmes. It was personal. Everything up to the point in Ironwood, everything was cool. So he ended up going to Tehachapi before me, before myself. And as things unfolded in the hole, I ended up going to Tehachapi. And as I told some of my stories, I was directly under T from Kuka. And as I'm there, little Fur, he was doing his thing. Twice out in the group yard, he took care of business for T. Pay attention, please. He went out to yard and took care of business for T. Keep in mind, in all my stories I have said, T's probably the most firmest Billy you will run across. Program wise, respect wise, understanding wise. As far as I know, he don't use this, he moves it. But keep that in mind. So as time kept going, of course, first showing respects here and there to the Pilis he's in touch from his area. But the one the most is Toto. Because I'm aware how much he's obsessed with pleasing this individual. I don't know how he must have, when he and his upbringing, it must have been just Toto and just about him and his neighborhood. I don't know. I don't know where that extra care about this individual came from because he went on and beyond, right? So as things unfolded, the little homie got validated. So as he got validated, they were gonna do that transition from the group year of camaradas to the validated camaradas, which was the section we were on. We're in B section. Everybody in there was validated. The rest of the group year as camaradas came from A section and C section, and the validated yards came from B section. So as he was gonna go out, T got at me again. Here's a real respectful Billy when he ain't even have to, right? So he tells me and he gets at me and he tells me, look, I just want to let you know, after this yard, there's no more communication with her. He's not to be considered a camarada. So of course, this caught me from left field. Like, just caught me a surprise. So of course I asked, but como I queda, the homie went sideways. ¿Qué pasó? And he goes, no, I do understand the homie did me a paro. I should do him a solid, but it's my brother over him. So I was like, what you mean? And he goes, I got asked as a favor to my brother Toto, to take care of him. He didn't want him programming with us no more. So I was more lost. So I told him, wait, what? That's that little homie, that's the one he does everything for, to please, and after that, I kept speaking and I just told him, gracias for the info. I can't say no more, right? And he goes, look, I know, but I can't go against. And, you know, so we just left alone like that, man. The little homie went out there and he got whacked. I'm not gonna say he came back because I never seen the little homie again. He never came back, which is, it's understandable. This is a person you're giving your life for to please, trying to do everything right. You go out to yard, get whacked, and you're told it's a message from Toto. You're trash from there on out. Why? Then everything came to flow that it was Psycho's doing. And Fur wasn't the only one Toto had dealt with when it came to individuals from this area and Psycho. He always cries camaradas up to defend his direct blood. Everything Fur did for this individual, which I couldn't even touch on everything because that's all he breathed for. He was just one of them homies that's all he wanted. Didn't mean nothing and didn't have no value. He sent dope, he pulled hollers, on the streets. I heard that while he was busted for taking care of some business when it came to this Billy's issues. He was a lifer for this individual. But the minute his family got disrespectful and his family member was a worthless camarada, sorry I say it like that, didn't do not one lick, didn't bring 1 cent, but just sat around watching sports, comadreando about other camaradas that decided to keep their mouth shut because they knew that was a direct blood. You see, the point I want to make in this is you could be as myself, right? I was a dumb individual. When I hit San Quentin, I thought it was one way and just one way, which was violence. I want my name up there, I want my name up there, without knowing that that don't have no meaning. You'll go out to yard and pull out 100 stab ones. At the end of the day, someone that's bringing in something for their venas, or even if it's a messed up family member, it's gonna pull your card. If it comes for them to choose, we ain't worth anything. I count myself, right? You're a throwaway, as Fur was. Cause as my time kept pushing, Fur wasn't the only one. And I can understand why he got hit and he went to he went to the hospital and he didn't want to come back. He was a youngster doing everything to please an individual and on paper, on rules and regulations, as programmed as sureños, everything was right. What was the only mistake? Trusting a Tecato that his word has more meaning than whatever you do. His shermed out family member has more meaning even though he has done not a damn thing for the causa than you. That's all you do. There's no pleasing these people. When it comes to program causa, everybody needs to understand that's gone. As a matter of fact, I've been hearing this channel that has a great sponsor. He starts off with the sponsor and it's never been about a causa. Really sit down and you can sit here and people say they painted the way of what? Since the gate has been about them and only them. Or you guys haven't heard the stories how they would get young homies as cellies and they would turn them out, rape them, then rent them to other races, pimp them out, and it wasn't a by choice thing. So that was the causa. That was for the raza. That's how they painted the way. Of course, things unfolded, changed throughout time, but did they change for the good? They eliminated one thing, but they implemented a whole bunch of different things, right? But again, take it from an individual that when I state don't go through the heartaches, I ain't meaning go sit down and do your time. Anybody with a strong head could go do your time, do your program. The heartaches are having an expectation on these individuals, on the campo raza, and getting your heart broken because you come to the realization that it's all lies, misled. The minute a solid program is gonna be implemented is when their word, their say so comes before anything. When their vena, when their feria comes before honor in a sureño or any raza for that. That's what I mean with don't go through the heartaches. Value yourself, treasure your family. Love those that show you love and respect, the real kind. Don't oversee, put that to a side and become something that these individuals are. You could show them love, you could give your life, you could do everything right. They could go through a malilla and you don't have their fix, or you ain't solid in their eyes no more. He's taking space, moving. Just be wise. I just thought I'd share this story with you guys. Please stay true to yourself, loyal to your loved ones. My love, muy buenas noches.